Welcome to the release highlights for KingswaySoft 2026 Release Wave 1. This release marks one of the most significant architectural shifts in our company's history, headlined by the strategic consolidation of our entire SSIS integration product family into a single, unified SSIS Integration Toolkit. Alongside this major milestone, we are also expanding our JDBC Driver Pack with new services and enhancements across the platform. As part of KingswaySoft's 2026 Release Wave 1, all previously separate SSIS Integration Toolkits and the SSIS Productivity Pack are now unified under one comprehensive offering, the SSIS Integration Toolkit. This transformation replaces the Ultimate Edition product structure, eliminates licensing and installation complexity, and establishes a modern, architecturally consistent foundation for all SSIS connectivity needs.
This release also introduces a completely new installation experience. Once you download our new installation file, you can double-click on the .exe file and start the installation of all SSIS components as shown below.
Now let's move over to some of the SSIS components to explore the major updates and new features included in this release. Let's start with our Salesforce components, where we have added Client Credentials OAuth support. The Client Credentials flow enables secure, server-to-server integration without user interaction. You can start a new Salesforce Connection Manager and find the option available in SOAP and REST endpoints. In here, you can simply enter the instance URL, client ID, and client secret that you have available from your pre-configured connected app. Click on Test Connection to verify the connectivity. Another enhancement we have is in our HubSpot components. While using Search API, there is an existing service platform limitation that the response would not return more than 10,000 records. In this release, we have handled this and have worked around the API limitation, and now, the HubSpot source component has the ability to get all the records, irrespective of the platform limitation, while using Search API. There are some things you may need to keep in mind, such as this feature is only supported when the component is configured in Query Builder mode. And for this feature to work, the Search API request must be sortable. In this release, we have also added a new feature in our NetSuite source component to easily upgrade from SOAP to REST-based connections. You could click on the Upgrade SOAP to REST button, which will bring up a window where you can either create a new REST-based connection or choose one if you already have one created. Once done, click on OK, which will redirect to the source component and automatically perform metadata updates to suit the new endpoint. And you can see new columns have been identified, and previous SOAP columns are either updated or removed. Moving over to the next one, we have added MongoDB GridFS support in both source and destination components. GridFS is a MongoDB specification used to store and retrieve large files with ease, and this relies on fs.files collection, which offers a standard metadata model, where the fields returned would be file name, binary data, etc. Let's drag and drop a MongoDB source component. Choose the connection manager and select the database where your files are. In the collection list, pick GridFS, and you can select the bucket. In the columns page, you can see that the metadata contains the file name, content, upload date, metadata, etc., which can be read in a tabular form using our components. Let's save and close the component and connect a dummy destination to it. Enable the data viewer and execute the data flow. In Output, you can see the files, which contain the binary content as well. This can be easily saved to a storage location using any of our local file system or cloud destinations as required. We also support filtering while using GridFS, and you can simply drag and drop and create your filter conditions as shown here. Similarly, in order to upload a file, the MongoDB destination can be used by choosing GridFS in the destination type. You can map the metadata as shown here from your source to create the file. Delete action is support as well to delete the files. Moving over to our PGP task, we have added support to work with cloud locations while performing any PGP actions. By default, PGP has local file connections in it. However, if you create Cloud Connection Manager, it becomes available in the list. Let's create an Azure Blob Storage Connection Manager to test this out. As you can see, the connection becomes available in the PGP task for both source and destination file settings. This is applicable for other KingswaySoft's Support Connection Manager as well, as seen below.
Moving over to our Snowflake components, we have added support for internal storage while using Snowflake bulk copy action. Let's drag and drop a Snowflake destination component and choose the connection manager. Configure the action, database, schema, and the destination table. In the bulk mode, let's select bulk copy. This brings up the options in the destination UI for the bulk copy connection and other settings. We already had other Snowflake-supported cloud connections available from previous versions. However, in this release, Snowflake Internal Storage, which allows you to stay within the Snowflake ecosystem while performing bulk inserts. Let's do a quick test to see how this can be monitored and verified. We have a data spawner as my source, and we have mapped few fields. Let's execute the data flow task. In Snowflake monitoring, you can see that queries are initiated that use internal storage. Next, in our Kafka Connection Manager, we have added support for OAuth authentication. In the Connection Manager, you can now navigate to the security protocol setting and choose Azure OAuth client credentials. This allows you to enter the Azure Client ID, Tenant ID, Client Secret, and Scope for OAuth authentication. Another important feature we have added in the new response output grid in the HTTP requester task. This allows you to select a property from the response, the body, status code description, headers, or full response, and assign it to either a variable or a file. If a user-created variable already exists in your package, you can use that, or you can create one using the option provided. You can also set up a file to map the property values into it. A common feature that is across our source and destinations components, spanning all relevant services, is the new Metadata Refresh Report Export feature. You can now click on the Export button to save the metadata report to a file in your local folder. This can be used as a reference for any metadata updates. Note that this is available in our destination components as well. And lastly, we have added 4 new services to our ever-growing large collection of REST connections, and they are Email Octopus, Outreach, Splunk, and Zoho Inventory. Now let's check out the newly introduced services in our JDBC Driver Pack. As you can see, we have added support for many new services. Let's look into a couple of them and see how the driver works in terms of connection and discovery. One of the major services included in this release is Azure DevOps. You can choose the service from the list dropdown, which will bring up the Connection Manager UI. In here, you can choose what kind of feature and connection type you are working with. Let's select Online and enter the service URL. If applicable, choose the API version and set the throttling rate as required. We provide 2 types of authentication modes: Personal Access Token and Authorization Code. The authorization code type is the OAuth type, which allows you to create a token file for authentication, whereas Personal Access Token is a static token code created on Azure DevOps instance. Let's enter the details and click on Project to discover the available project list in the connection scope. Test Connection can be clicked to confirm the connectivity. The connection string can be copied by using the Copy to Clipboard button. Next, let's see how SharePoint connection can be set up in the JDBC driver.
Within SharePoint, we support Active Directory authentication and OAuth. Active Directory type is primarily used for on-prem services, and OAuth can be for on-prem as well as online instances. Enter the service URL, choose the throttling rate as required, and you can move over to the OAuth type. In here, you can pick from either authorization code type that uses token file or use the certificate type that uses a certificate pair. Let's choose authorization code in our example and click on Generate Token File. Enter the client ID, client secret, Azure AD tenant ID, and the redirect URL. You can pick the scope from the dropdown. Click on Sign In and Authorize, and this would prompt you to log into your SharePoint instance and authorize the app. Once done, provide a token password and save the token file. Click on Test Connection to confirm. Once a connection is established, you can get a list of your source lists or libraries from the field provided for it. KingswaySoft's. Data integration made easy.